India's top court outlawed the Islamic practice of Triple Talaq, declaring it illegal and asked the centre to frame a law over the same. The Islamic practice that allowed a Muslim man to divorce his wife in minutes just by saying talaq 3 times was banned in the year 2019 by the Modi government. The idea was to safeguard Muslim women's rights and to empower them. While the decision was celebrated by most Muslim women and women's rights activists, one of the most significant political achievements of the Modi government has constantly been mired in communal politics. 5 years on, politics over the reform refuses to die down. Time and again, the opposition has questioned the selective concern for the community and has called it anti-women and unconstitutional. In the latest, Kerala Chief Minister has reignited the Triple Talaq debate. The Kerala Chief Minister has criticised the central government for criminalising the Triple Talaq law and questioned why is it considered a criminal offence for Muslim women alone when divorces happen in all other religions and is seen as a civil case. Let's take a listen to what the Kerala Chief Minister had to take.
വർഗീയ നിലപാടുകൾ കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെന്റ് സ്വീകരിക്കുകയാണല്ലോ. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മളിവിടെ വ്യത്യസ്ത മതവിശ്വാസികൾ പങ്കെടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും ഈ യോഗത്തിൽ. ഒരാളൊരു കുറ്റം ചെയ്താൽ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക രീതിയിൽ, മറ്റൊരാൾ കുറ്റം ചെയ്താൽ മറ്റൊരു പ്രത്യേക രീതിയിൽ സ്വീകരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. നമ്മുടേതുപോലെ രാജ്യത്ത് ഒരു നിയമസമിതിയാവുന്നു. ഒരാൾക്കൊരു നിയമം, മറ്റൊരാൾക്ക് മറ്റൊരു നിയമം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മതവിശ്വാസിക്ക് ഒരു നിയമം, മറ്റൊരു മതവിശ്വാസിക്ക് വേറൊരു നിയമം. ഇതല്ലേ മുത്തലാഖിന്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ കാണാൻ നമുക്ക് സാധിക്കുക. മുത്തലാഖ് ക്രിമിനൽ കുറ്റാക്കിയല്ല. വിവാഹമോചനം എല്ലാ വിഭാഗത്തിലും നടക്കുന്നതല്ല. അതെല്ലാം സിവിലായിട്ടാണല്ലോ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്നത്. മുസ്ലിമിന് മാത്രം എങ്ങനെ ക്രിമിനൽ കുറ്റമാകുന്നു? അപ്പോ വിവാഹമോചനത്തിന്റെ പേരിൽ മുസ്ലിം ആയാൽ ജയിലിലടക്കാം. ഇതൊരു ഭാഗം. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഇന്ത്യൻ പൗരരാണ്. നമ്മളെ ആരുടെയെങ്കിലും പൗരത്വം ഇന്ന മതത്തിൽ ജനിച്ചതുകൊണ്ടാണ് കിട്ടിയതെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റും? നമ്മുടെ ഈ മണ്ണിന്റെ സന്തതിയല്ലേ, ഈ രാജ്യത്തിലെ പൗരല്ലേ. പൗരത്വത്തിന് ഏതെങ്കിലും ഘട്ടത്തിൽ മതം ഒരടിസ്ഥാനമായി വന്നിരുന്നു. പൗരത്വ നയ ഭേദഗതിയുടെ ഇതല്ലേ പൗരത്വത്തിനെ മതം അടിസ്ഥാനമാക്കിയല്ലേ കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? എന്ത് ചെയ്യാമെന്നല്ലേ നാം പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ച കാര്യം ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ആവർത്തിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. അത് കേരളത്തിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത. അപ്പൊ തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞു അതിവിടെ നടപ്പാക്കില്ല. അപ്പൊ ചന്ദ്ര ചോദിച്ചു.
However, the Kerala Chief Minister's statement hasn't gone down well with the opposition parties. The BJP has called this appeasement politics and a move to garner votes of a particular community. Let's take a listen.
Pinarayi Vijayan ji has this habit of fishing in troubled waters when he himself is in deep waters. The issue is he's trying to divert attention on various issues and corruption issues that have come. The question is, why can't the members of that community also follow the same pattern? Let's open for them. But instead they prefer this quick solutions. And our Chief Minister is very busy appeasing them. But problem here is, Kerala is one state which is highly educated. Be it the Christians, be it the Muslims, be it the Hindus. These kind of gimmicks don't work. These are apple and oranges. The law of the land, the civil code should be the same for everybody. The point here is, I think the Chief Minister is into diversionary tactics.
See, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is both ignorant as well as dangerous. We treat all citizens as equal. And the Quran is very clear. The man and the woman both have the same rights. Only that the man has additional responsibility. That's what the Quran says. Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is not aware of this. And then chapter 4 of Quran deals with divorce. They talk about 3 kinds of divorces. And nowhere is instant triple talaq permitted under the Quran, by the Quran. All that he's trying to do is he's trying to appease the minorities in Kerala, the Muslim community, and that is why the largest number of recruits in IS in Syria is from Kerala.
I'm not sure under what circumstances has the Kerala CM spoken this. I don't know the context, but irrespective of what it is, we have a constitution, there's a law of the land, and everybody needs to follow that.
And to discuss this further, I'm joined by our esteemed panel of guests over here. I'm joined by Dr. Zeenat Shaukat Ali, who is an Islamic scholar, Lalitha Manglam, who is a former Chief of NCW, Khushbu Jain, who is a Supreme Court lawyer. A very good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us here at Mirror Now. My first question would, of course, go across to Ms. Lalitha Manglam, who is the former Chief of NCW. You know, Ms. Manglam, when statements like these are made by prominent politicians and leaders, there is a lot of ambiguity that is created over what exactly does the abolishment of Triple Talaq mean, and what are the laws and the rights that entail equality for women. Do you think that political party leaders must desist from making statements like these? Because all that we are standing up here for is equal rights for women, and such rants are only adverse to it.
I quite agree with you. In fact, I don't think it's just restricted to politicians who should think at least 2-3 times before they unnecessarily make such statements, but anybody in public life, influencers, as you may call them, from any sphere of life, should be careful when they make such statements. Now, the fact is that the Triple Talaq, what has been banned is instant Triple Talaq. As was pointed out by, I think, Mr. Alphonse, the Quran doesn't say that instant Triple Talaq should be allowed. They say Triple Talaq, where they actually give a period of time, about 6 months, to the woman to, give her own arguments or ask for whatever she wants to if she is being threatened with talaq. The Triple Talaq law, as it stands now, was brought in because the law was being extraordinarily misused. We had women being, given talaq on SMS, on phone, on just, WhatsApp and all the rest of it. And women were just thrown out of their houses by their in-laws because the husband had called somebody in the family and said, talaq, talaq, talaq. Now, this is against the basic human right of any human being, regardless of what religion they may belong to. And women must be given equal rights as men. I wonder what, the comment would be if the law was reversed and we said women also have a right to Triple Talaq. I mean, I'll probably be shouted down and all sorts of abuse be hurled on me for me making this statement. But there is a reason why this law was brought in. Let's also not forget that it was requested by Muslim women. Friends of mine who came to me when I was the NCW chief and said that Triple Talaq has ruined the lives of too many young and Muslim women of all ages. Therefore, we would like instant Triple Talaq to be made illegal, which is what has happened. The concept of Triple Talaq originally was not this talaq, talaq, talaq all at one go. It was that both sides are given a chance to discuss the entire situation, much as it is in every other marriage in the country. And I don't see why, if women from other religions do not find fault with actually going to court or going to a mediator, arbitrator, etc., to get a divorce through, why a certain section of a certain religion is finding it so difficult to understand. And it's very clear that this was a very political statement. I think what Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan is also forgetting is that women vote in very large numbers nowadays. And the latest data has shown that actually more women vote than men. Let's not forget that Kerala is the most educated state in India. And I'm sure women are not going to accept this quietly. Even if they don't come out and protest on the streets, etc. When they vote, I'm sure they will understand, what is good for them, what is not done for them. And it is a social and, it's a misuse of a customary, if you want to call it law, a religious law that has been that has been terribly unfairly misused against women from that particular religion, and women themselves don't agree with it. So I don't think there's anything wrong, but Pinarayi Vijayan and many other people in public life should really think twice before they constantly demean women and show just how patriarchal their thinking is.
Absolutely, Ms. Kumara Mangalam. I'm taking that question across to Dr. Zeenat Shaukat Ali also. Ms. Zeenat, how do you see the statement that came from the Kerala Chief Minister? Do you agree with him? Because this is definitely seen from a prism that he is talking from a point of patriarchy in a sense, where equal right must be accorded to women and men if they want an annulment of marriage. Why should only man get a right to, sever ties in this manner and leave the woman in the lurch? And that's the reason why, like Ms. Kumara Mangalam was mentioning, that this demand for the abolishment of the instant triple talaq emanated from the community of the Muslim women.
Absolutely. I think, I do not agree at all with the Honorable Minister, whatever he has had to say, because let us start with this, that Islam, this triple talaq, instant triple talaq itself by itself is un-Islamic. From the Islamic point of view, I've written 2 books on this subject, and it is completely, it is called talaq and bidat, something that the Prophet never promoted. It is a heretical form of divorce. So in the first instance, to even say that it is any way close to Islam is absolutely incorrect. So let's start with that. And that brings us to this scepter of, politics and a combination of patriarchy and misogyny that, I don't know whether this contributes to a vote bank, because if it does, I think it's a very sorry situation that anyone in the world should contribute to such a thought. And I think it is very anti-women. It is full of patriarchy, and I think the decision that were made, it was Sharia Banu who went to court, and ever since we are looking at, it is very unfortunate that the Muslims themselves did not make this move, and within the Muslim Personal Law Board, this matter should have been resolved, and a triple talaq, instant triple talaq should have been abolished. And the correct method is that, whether it is a man or whether it is a woman who disagree and who wants to divorce, there is an arbitration council set up, there is a time period, there is a period of reconciliation, and if things don't work out, there is a divorce. So either party can initiate that process. And it has just been brought out, by 2 different courts in India that, even the khula, when the woman wants a divorce, she has the right to ask for the divorce. So the point is that, this kind of a mindset, unfortunately, that we have cultivated, that this is where women belong and this is where men belong and this belongs to the religion. First of all, let us come with that this does not belong to the religion at any level. And we find that all Muslim countries all over the world have changed this law. Even a redundant country like Pakistan has brought about in 1961 a law, which does not permit this kind of arbitrary triple talaq. So the point is that, anyone breaking this issue, I think is simply politicizing and simply downgrading women. I think it is, it is the entire argument that is put forth, to my mind, doesn't fall within the context of what Islam is saying or what the Indian Constitution is saying. And I think both Islam and the Indian Constitution are saying the same thing, that women must have equal rights. Women, whether it is a right to divorce, whether it is the right to marry, whether it is the right to education, whether it is the right to inheritance, everything. There is nothing, unseemly in that. So I think that this statement is something that I cannot agree with at any time, at any stage, and in any way.
Absolutely, Ms. Zeenat. But let me also delve deeper into this entire statement made by the Kerala Chief Minister. Of course, we are not even going to steer towards the fact that is he trying to indulge into appeasement politics, or is he saying from the point of view with the elections coming up? We are not going to go there at all. We are going to talk about the rights that a woman entails and the fact that she should know about her rights under the Indian law. Let me take that question across to Khushbu Jain, who is a Supreme Court lawyer joining us here. Ms. Jain, what the Kerala Chief Minister also underlined was the criminalization of the law. he is saying that divorces happen in all religions. It's not particular to any one particular community, that there are only people hailing from the Muslim community or from Islamic community are the ones who are getting divorces. It happens everywhere. But why should the Muslim divorces be criminalized, especially when it comes to triple talaq? Now, that is where this debate stems from. Do you think that there is a need for criminalization of this law to act as a deterrent, or do you think this is draconian in nature?
See, for any law, there are twofold questions that you have asked. Let me deal with the first one. The first one that talks about the aspect whether this will act as a deterrent. So I would say that yes, it will act as a deterrent, and it is the need of the hour, because it's a practice which is going on from very long, and we are fighting against the patriarchy attitude in a cultural society. So I think, in my view, if there is a punishment, that's how you enforce something and bring a change. Now, coming back to your second aspect, that there are other ways where talaqs are happening, and why are you just talking about Muslim? So I think there is a lack of interpretation over there, or understanding over what has been passed. All we're talking about is the law doesn't say that you can't take divorce at all. All it is talking about is, it is saying that triple talaq is something which is unconstitutional because of lot of reasons. Reasons such as there is no equality over there, there is no equity over there, and women are not being given the dignified life which they should have, and that's something which is guaranteed under Constitution, under Article 14, 15, 21, where you talk about right to dignified life under Article 21 enshrined in Constitution. Now, if you talk about divorce, if you talk about something like that, I think triple talaq had to be done away with something. Let's not bring a religious into it, and with religious, let's not politicize this, because of the reason that it is something similar to what we had done with the practice of sati, devdasi, and polygamy in the past. And it had nothing to do with religion or anything. We are talking about something which is equity, equality, and dignity of women. Why are we attaching a religion to it? Why are we bringing politics into it? It's a plain simple thing, that why not give equal rights to men and women? If there is a right to men for the divorce in Muslim, the same right should be with the women when it comes to divorce. That's simple. It has not gone away. Let's be clear, it's not gone away that in Muslim religion, if you ask for talaq is where you'll be given punishment. No, I don't think so. That's the scenario. Only aspect of triple talaq is where the question has come up. And let's not even confuse triple talaq with profession, practice, or propagation of Islam, because I think earlier panelists have clearly been thrown more light to the aspect that triple talaq was not sacrosanct to the profession of Muslim religion per se. And that's what I think has attracted the apex court to get into this aspect and intervene and render justice to the women of our country. And this has been done in a lot of other countries. There are examples where countries across globe have recognized that part, that this for the progressive nation, for the development of nation, and for the democracy, and for enjoyment of constitutional rights by everybody. One has to go away with things like triple talaq.
Absolutely, a social evil that has been done away with. And of course, like earlier on, Ms. Dr. Zeenat Ali was mentioning, that it's a misrepresentation of what exactly is enshrined in the Holy Book or in Islam, was something that is now being done away with, and nobody should have an issue with it. And secondly, why should a man assume a high moral ground or be on a pedestal to decide what a woman's right should be? Why can't this be left to the wisdom of a woman, or is she, failing to even decide for herself? That is also another aspect that we're looking at it. But Ms. Lalitha Kumaramangalam, I will come back to you. When we are talking about the criminalization of triple talaq, many women from the community also talk about how this is leading to feuds in the family. They maintain that, triple talaq is already redundant. It is invalid. It is null and void. Why should one penalize for calling out for triple talaq? That is a grey area where there are several women who feel there is a backlash, and there is like a repercussion that they feel owing to the criminalization of triple talaq. Is there anything that you can share with us about women and their experiences?
Look, Samia, originally when women were given equal rights for divorce in any religion, regardless, there was a huge furor. That first of all, let's not forget that we still live in a very, very patriarchal society, regardless of what religion you may come from, class of society, etc. Even levels of education often make no difference. But the fact is that yes, divorce happens across the board in every religion. It should have nothing to do with religion at all. In this case, like I said, the instant triple talaq was a misuse of what the original Muslim law was. As I think Zeenat ji has explained very clearly. Talaq-e-biddat is still there in the Islamic world, but it's not instant triple talaq. That's the point. And I think we have seen that if you make a law, if there is no punishment for not following the law or breaking the law, there's no point in making the law. I mean, why do you bring a law in? If somebody commits a murder, right? If there is no punishment for actually committing a murder, what's the point of having a law at all? So the fact that once a law has been brought in, the chances that there are people who will break the law, for those who break the law, there is a punishment. I don't think that's at all unusual. I don't think at all that it should be criticized, because laws are made to prevent people from making such mistakes. And to call instant triple talaq a mistake is a very, very mild word. It is really suppressing the rights of women. All human beings in constitutional countries, in democratic countries, and India is a constitutional democracy, must have equal rights. When you give one gender a right like this, why are you taking, you are instantly equally taking away those rights from the other gender. So if you want gender equality, which is what is really necessary for any country to flourish in every possible way, socially, culturally, economically, etc., then if you make a law that is trying to get rid of one of the most repressive customs that are available, you will obviously have to have punishment for it. And the word decriminalization it's a legal term. You criminalize something, you make it a crime. When somebody commits something wrong, it's called a crime. So I think they are trying to play it up, and they're just trying to use words to find excuses. If you have a law, there has to be something to make sure that the law is followed. And normally, to make people follow law, there is punishment that is meted out. It is the same in this case.
And these punishments are only going to act as a deterrent to ensure that the women are not left in the lurch by men practicing these instant triple talaq that are already done away with. And perhaps there's going to be some sense of fear that can be instilled in these men who are even contemplating to carry out the instant triple talaq despite it being banned officially by the government. I appreciate all of you joining us. Dr. Zeenat Shaukat Ali, Lalitha Mangalam and Khushbu Jain. Appreciate you taking out time and discussing this with us over here at the Urban Debate at Mirror Now. And with that, we're slipping into a short break right now. Lots more lined up. Stay tuned and keep watching Mirror Now.